Are you planning to retire from FirstEnergy? Have you done the research and do you understand the pension benefit options available to you and your family? Today, we'll plan to talk through what those FirstEnergy pension benefit options are and how you can best make a decision that'll benefit you to maximize your income while also not disinheriting your loved ones. My name is Cieniewicz. I'm a CFP professional from Hyperion Financial. This video is meant for educational purposes only and is not to be taken as any type of investment or specific financial advice. Please note that Hyperion Financial is in no way affiliated with FirstEnergy Corp., and this video does not reflect the opinions of FirstEnergy Corporation. When it comes to your income in retirement, the FirstEnergy pension is likely to make up a very significant portion of that total amount. Therefore, the decision that you make is going to be one of the bigger decisions when it comes to planning your retirement income. One of the best parts about this benefit is assuming that FirstEnergy Corp stays solvent, your pension benefit is going to last as long as you live. And depending on the option which you choose, it could also last as long as your spouse is alive. So how do you make sure that you're choosing the right option? The first thing you should do is take inventory of a couple factors. Those include your age and your health. It also includes your spouse's age and your spouse's health. You should also be looking at your Social Security benefits along with your spouse's Social Security benefits, how much you and your spouse have saved in retirement, and lastly, if you and your spouse are planning to do any part-time or full-time work after you retire from FirstEnergy. And once this information is gathered and established, you can then make a better informed decision of which type of benefit will offer you the best way in which you can maximize income while also making sure you're not going to disinherit your spouse. One of the first things we recommend is to actually understand how the ages and the retirement dates work when it comes to choosing your FirstEnergy pension. With the FirstEnergy pension plan, so long as you're crediting years of service and you're working past the age of 60, your pension benefit will continue to rise. However, after the age of 60, if you're no longer working at FirstEnergy, it doesn't make sense to continue to defer, because once you've reached the age of 60 and you're no longer working, there is no benefit increase that would be available to you within the pension system. This works a little bit different than Social Security. Social Security, you can delay up until age 70, and you do get a waiting bonus each year you choose to do so. When it comes to FirstEnergy, if you are retired and you're not collecting by the age of 60, there is no benefit to waiting any longer. It's also worth noting that if you plan to retire prior to age 60, you will notice that your benefit will be reduced. Let's take a look at a real life example and see what the options are available to a retiring employee. So this is a female age 62 who is looking to retire, and we have the pension calculation statement. Her spouse is age 60 and she was hired in 1977 and is planning to retire here after about 41 and so years of service. So if we scroll down, we get some of those details right here. We get to see the age of both the retiree and the spouse. You get to see the eligibility that the individual has had. And then you'll also get to see some of the information such as their total career earnings. And we get to see the highest earning monthly compensation that they would have had as well. So as we continue to scroll down here, what you're going to get to see is the 4 different options that would be available to the retiree. And so you get to see the career earnings benefit, and then you also see this HAMB benefit. That stands for health and medical benefits expense. And then you get to see some of the information here as this employee was previously with GPU, as FirstEnergy has acquired a number of different companies here. But really what we want to look at is the highest benefit that would be available. And we can see that the adjusted health and medical benefits expense is the highest option available. If we scroll down though, that number, while it is the highest number here, we haven't yet taken into account the spouse's benefit just yet. So if we continue to scroll down, you'll get to see that the benefit options now include the spouse. So we'll see a number of different choices here. The first one is the single life annuity, which again is just going to match that number that you would have seen from above. However, since this employee is married, the consideration that she's going to have is just like we talked about. What are those considerations between her health, spouse's age, Social Security, and other retirement benefits? Going to help determine which choice she should end up making when it comes to choosing the right pension option. So as you can see here, the survivor benefit is the 25%, in which case the spouse would get 25% of the benefit if the retiree predeceases the spouse. You'll also see on here this lifetime pop-up option, and that lifetime pop-up option can take place in the event that you choose the 25%, which again would cover if the retiree predeceases the spouse. However, if the spouse predeceases the retiree, it gives the retiree a chance to pop up to that max single life annuity option. So again, you have a couple of different options at your disposal, and health of both spouses is going to play a big role when choosing this. And as you can see here, there's the 50%, the 75%, and each of these options, and the 100% as well, each of these options are going to have that lifetime pop-up option available to you. The more income that you would like to leave to a surviving spouse, the less that you'll be able to collect as the retiree. So it's something that you want to keep in mind. If you have other Social Security benefits, other retirement savings, you may be able to choose an option that is better suited to provide more income. But again, choosing to make sure that your spouse is covered, it should be an equally important decision when choosing which option you'll have. Lastly, you see these 5-year, 10-year, 15-year certain options. These options will pay so long as the retiree is alive. So if you live beyond just the 5 years, you'll still continue to get this monthly income. However, if you pass away after 5 years, that income would be $0 for the spouse. If you pass away within a year or two, you'll get a full total of 5 years of this number that the spouse would be able to collect in the event that the retiree passes away. Again, you can choose that for a 10-year or 15-year option. The 15-year option obviously is a longer time period, but it is a lesser monthly amount. If you couldn't tell by reviewing these options, this decision is one that is very individualized. There's no one-size-fits-all answer or no correct universal right answer. It takes planning, coordination, and depending on how you and your spouse live, could make the difference between tens of thousands, if not even more, over the course of a 30-year retirement. You should also be taking into consideration some things like tax planning when it comes to your pension, and we'll get into that in another video. Ultimately, the decision that you make should be focused on those two factors that we talked about to make sure that you're maximizing that income that you're able to bring in, while also making sure that you're not disinheriting your spouse. My team and I at Hyperion Financial have helped dozens of FirstEnergy retiring employees make these types of decisions. If you have questions and you're interested in taking a further step towards planning your FirstEnergy retirement, feel free to schedule some time on my calendar. I'm putting that in the description below where you can set up a time to chat. Be sure to check out our website, hyperionfp.com, if you haven't already, where it will have some more information of how you can best plan your FirstEnergy retirement and how to avoid some of the common mistakes that some pre-retirees end up making.